Hello, good evening. Thank you for tuning in. If you don't know me, my name is Dave Peck and I do YouTube videos about landscape photography. If you haven't seen any of my videos, subscribe and go and check out my playlist. So tonight we're at Malham, and this is the lone tree at Malham, and it's been photographed thousands of times before, but never by me. So earlier on, I came up and photographed it in the late afternoon, and the idea of this video, the purpose of this video, is to show you that as a landscape photographer you need to really think about the light and the time of day you photograph. If you're a beginner, you'll know that, or if you've done any googling, you'll know that we talk about the golden hour a lot. And the golden hour is that hour before sunset and after sunrise when we like to shoot, and the reason for that is the light is at its best, so the light is low. Now at the moment the light is behind you, shining straight onto the tree, which is beautiful. It was this afternoon. We've got loads of cloud cover, broken clouds, but could be perfect. Sunset is another hour. I shot a photograph earlier, and this was shot at about 6 o'clock in the evening, so I'll put that up here now, down here, so you can have a look at it. And if you look, I mean, it's a nice composition, and we'll talk about composition again in a little while, but the composition is great and it's a nice picture, nice blue sky. But I'm hoping that if you compare that with the one I'm going to shoot later, and I'm also going to come back for sunrise tomorrow, I can't guarantee what the light's going to be like, but certainly going to give it the best go, and we'll have a look and decide what we think is the best. Now, composition wise, this is a perfect shot for beginners. If I ever do workshops, and I am seriously thinking about it, this could well be one of the locations. If you're a beginner or fairly new to landscape photography, this will be a perfect place to come because of these wonderful things called leading lines. Now these holes in this limestone, this is limestone rock, and the slits, the bits in the side, the gaps if you like, are called grikes. I'm not quite sure how they formed, but it's probably acid rain, maybe a bit of in the ice age, grinding them out. But what happens is, obviously, as the water gets into them, they make them deeper and deeper, and we've got these plants growing between them, which obviously helps as well. And we've got this wonderful ash tree growing in the background here, look, and he looks different throughout the year. Really easy composition to shoot, but really, really good. I've got the camera down low, you can probably see it here. Got the 14 to 30mm lens on, and this for me is my kind of perfect image. I've shot this kind of stuff all the time. Something really interesting in the foreground, leading line, and something in the background, a lovely sky up ahead. Three perfect elements, and I can't but fail, really. Having said that, as a pro landscape photographer, you've really got to make sure that you just take your time and choose the right bit of foreground. Now I've found this bit here, what's really interesting with this is you've got the two lines from the right and the left and the central block. Now things in the foreground need to look interesting. If they're not, the the picture doesn't really work. Well, it does, but it doesn't work as well as it could. So I've scouted this out earlier. There's a really interesting piece of limestone here with some ferns in the background, which are going to be blurred in the picture. And then there's two other lines that take us in and take us round to the ash tree in the background. And all we need above it, which we might get tonight, is a really nice sky. Portrait, I see this, the camera's really low because I want to make this really dramatic. Going to focus stack it so that everything's in focus, but we're shooting at f13 and whatever the shutter speed is at the moment, it's going to be something like a quarter of a second, something like that. Lovely evening. It's really nice actually to be out photographing again. I don't feel like I've taken any really good pictures lately. I've been trying, but the weather's not been great to me. The summer's not the best time really for landscape pictures. But we're now in July, which should be the height of summer. Over in Europe, everybody's sweltering. In England, we're getting lots of rain and lots of weather, so it's actually kind of worked out quite well for me. And sunrise is 5:15, so it's not too bad. And I'm staying literally about a mile from this tree just to shoot this. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to come back and do a sunrise at this very location. Oh God, it's getting cold up here. Hopefully though, you can see that the light is now a lot more orange. These clouds have got some nice colours in them. There's some nice deep blues and oranges is what you kind of get at sunset. Sunrise, I'm hoping I can show you in the morning, is normally magentas and dark blues, which I really like. It's my favourite colour. Sunset tends to be warmer, but it still has its appeal. It's really nice. Just shooting a time lapse, which I've just finished. So that's all done on portrait. I'll put that in the corner here for you to have a look at. I think I'm now going to shoot this. I'm going to shoot it landscape and portrait, just so I've covered myself. I often used to shoot portrait pictures of everything because portraits go on the front of magazine covers, and that's used to be where the money is. So, but this really suits it because you get these little grikes really close to the camera. So let's shoot this again, and then we'll probably do another time lapse of a landscape to put on. Just having the best time. It's been brilliant. Okay, so the clouds have now covered the back of the tree. Exposure looks bang on. Gone f13, half a second, ISO 64, but I'm also going to focus stack this because it's so close, and the camera does it automatically. Got it set on one of my quick buttons here, so literally just press start and it will take 3 images for me, near, middle and in the distance. I'm also going to do it manually to make sure I've got it, and that is in the bag. So let's do this manually. Focus there, back button focusing, and that's focused just about 1/3 of the way in, and that's where I should get the most depth of field. I'm going to shoot another one round about 2/3 of the way in, and the third one will be actually on the tree itself. And if I need to blend them, which I'm not sure I need to, but if I do, then I'll blend those 3 in together. Let's just do that. I'm just going to focus manually as well, just to make sure that that is completely sharp, because that can sometimes catch you out, and that is. and that is in the bag. So the other shot I'm going to do now, which actually might suit this a bit better, is a landscape one. I didn't shoot that this afternoon, only portrait. I think actually portrait is better, but I'm going to shoot a landscape one as I'm here. Again, focus on the let's go halfway. I think that's going to be okay. I think sunrise sunset is another 3 minutes, but we might have had the best of it. There's now no light underneath these clouds, but even now, oh, this is uncomfortable. But even now, I hope you'll agree, the light looks better now than it did, and that's because of the colour temperature, how rich it is. The light on the tree looks kind of like fiery, orangey. I'm hoping in the morning we're going to get some lovely this dark blue, some magentas, and hopefully some mist behind this tree. It's going to look even better. But it's so important as a landscape photographer, or even if you're just doing it as a hobby, or even if you're just interested in improving your pictures, the light, and when you photograph things, makes a big difference. Photography is all about light. It really is important. Compositional tips you can kind of work out, and we've talked about them again on this channel, but look at these leading lines here, aren't they beautiful? Doesn't it look great? It's a really lovely shot. I'm really pleased with this. I'm hoping, at the moment, this is definitely my favourite out of the two that I've done. I'm just hopeful that tomorrow is going to look even better, but we'll see. So I'm going to end it there, back to the car, get home, get some sleep, set the alarm for about 4 o'clock, straight out, and I'll see you up here just before sunrise tomorrow morning. We'll have a look at that. It's so good to be out. See you in the morning. Sleep well. Just like that, it's the morning time. Good morning. So, slept okay. So I slept well. When I'm waking up early and I'm going up for a sunrise, I'm never kind of sleep fully, and I was awake before the alarm this morning. So I really could have done with a coffee, but there's other people staying in the B&B, so I didn't want to wake them. So I crept out as quietly as I could, and it's the quietest place on earth. I was expecting the sounds of foxes or barn owls hooting. I've seen a barn owl. It's the only piece of wildlife apart from the hare. I saw him on the way down. It's the only piece of wildlife I've seen. A lovely barn owl flying over. Had a great day. I've had 2 great days shooting some wildlife at a nature sanctuary. I'll put the picture of the barn owl here somewhere. What a marvellous bird they are. Absolutely gorgeous, completely silent. You know, such a really clever apex predator, very efficient. This one, by the way, is kind of like a barn owl equivalent to an albino. Fascinating, lovely, beautiful thing. Anyway, back to the scene. We're here by the tree. You can see that sunrise, such that it is going to be over there. We've got another half an hour, so it's not all is not lost, but the clouds are a little bit too heavy. The forecast said 65%, which is absolutely perfect, and as well as a navigator, as well as a communicator, as well as a processor, all sorts of things you have to be as a landscape photographer. You have to remember to charge all your stuff up, so preparation is really key. But you also have to be a bit of a weather forecaster. I kind of write in as much as there's a little bit of mist in the valley, but it's not really going to work for this shot because I can't really see much of the valley. But the light's coming, and as I've said before, all it needs is a little bit of a gap on the horizon, and this whole thing will light up. So a cloud like this, you get really spectacular sunrises or nothing, and you've got to be in it to win it. So here I am. By the way, the pictures from yesterday were interesting. I put both up on Facebook. I didn't mention which one was shot in the afternoon and which one was shot in the evening, and everyone without exception has preferred the evening shot. So that's good, because as you know, it's about light, this particular vlog. And the one that I shot in the afternoon, so this one, that would work really well for portraiture, because it's nice soft light, there's clouds in front of the sun, it's over my right shoulder or my left shoulder, so that kind of light is perfect as your main light in portraiture. And then we use other lights to kick the hair, make the hair look lighter, or maybe a bit of side lighting. Sometimes the backgrounds are lighting it up, but that main light, we had the tree yesterday, was perfect for tree portrait. But landscapes are all about drama. So low light, low lying light, the sun was really low down for the sunset shot, and it meant there was a lot more contrast through the scene. And it's contrast and colour, and you get a lot more colour at sunset and sunrise, is what makes the shot pop, makes the shot stand out. So it's kind of worked, this experiment, already, by showing you, hopefully, and I hope you agree, that the sunset shot, which is here, is a lot better than a late afternoon shot, which is here. I want to try and add a sunrise shot for here, but we'll just have to wait and see if we get any light. I shot a couple 30-second exposures f13, but this cloud's not particularly exciting. So never mind, you can't do anything about it. Let's wait here as we do. So I've got 3/4 an hour to wait, I'd imagine, before we get any light. If it comes out, I'll turn you back on and we'll have a look. Beautiful day. So I've just moved right here because I found a better composition. There's some really interesting rocks that are all pointing straight in at the tree. I mean, there are loads of them around here, to be fair, but shooting more to the right, I'm getting more of the sunrise area into the picture. So I'm going to put the tree on the right third. I've zoomed in a little bit, but it allows me to get some sky, which is just over there, in, and that's where the sun's going to come up. Zoomed out too much, there's some bushes which look a bit scruffy on the left I don't really like. So this could work, but again, we just need the clouds just to break a little bit. So I've come back to my original spot just so I can compare, or you can compare, 3 different times of day. So we've got late afternoon, sunset, and now sunrise. Wouldn't say this is the best sunrise ever, but there's still, I hope you can see from the picture, there's still some magentas and pinks and deep blues in the sky. But a wonderful place to, oh, some colour, look at the colour over there. Oh, the colour's in the wrong place. Yeah, colour's in the wrong place really. There is some light over here. We might get it kicking across here in a bit. So the sunrise is over this hedge. You know how you get disappointed? Okay. That's just typical. Is there a place to go? Could we get the other side? I don't think it's still not working. Oh, it's so frustrating. There is some light, but it's over there, and it's such a narrow piece of broken cloud. I mean, there's a lovely bit on the horizon higher up, which is no good to me at all. So this cloud is sitting over where the sun's coming up, which is killing all the light. There's hints of it, but there's hints of it. It's not. I mean, it's not bad. I've had worse sunrises. So you can only shoot what you've got. I'm going to shoot this now anyway. It's still lovely. It's a great place to be. There's a little bit of colour maybe, which I might be able to bring out. Certainly the clouds are moving quite quick, so we can blur them a little bit. And there we go. So I'll put the pictures up on the screen now, show you the 3 different pictures. So light for landscapes, I think we've learned, hopefully, I think you'll agree, that low light, golden light, so this lovely rich colours that you get this time of day are certainly better for landscapes. You need more drama, so low light with long shadows and lots of contrast is quite good. Portraiture, perfect. That late afternoon shot I did, light over your shoulder, works really, really well. So different lighting for different genres. But from this old tree, look at how lovely he is, still beautiful. I'm going to come back, I think, we'll come and do this again. I'm also going to, at the end of this, just so you're aware, I'm going to drop in a sky. It could be a Photoshop sky. This new AI generative stuff will drop a sky in for me easily. You've got some in Luminar, so just to make it look like what it would have done if the cloud gods had played ball. But for now, enjoy the pictures, and I will see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Time for breakfast. Goodbye.